Hey girlfriends, welcome back to my channel. It's Jazz and I'm back with another quick video. Yes, I'm looking crazy about the head. That's fine. It's a method to my madness. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw for Valentine's Day I had the cute little wet look when I washed my hair. But I feel like the wet look is really only good for like the first 2 hours. So like I ended up just putting my hair back into these cute, so I had like, you know, cute little buns, 2 little space buns while my hair was wet. So it's air dried in these buns. Now, because I just washed my hair like, what, 2 days ago, I'm just gonna do a Flexi rod set. I'm going out to dinner for my best friend's birthday tomorrow. So we're just gonna take this air dried hair and ride it up. If I can get these hair ties out. Good grief. Okay. So, because it's in a air dried state, I feel like, it's like normally when I do a blowout and I ride my hair, which is technically like doing a style on dry hair, it just gives differently. You know, so it's more, it's prone to frizz and dryness. I feel like when you do a dry, it lasts longer when I let my hair air dry and then ride it. I don't do this often, but in the times that I have done my hair on like an air dried hairstyle, or like if I had a wash and go that was a disaster the next day and I decided to like put rods in it, that works. So if you don't like to blow dry your hair, I would recommend letting your hair air dry in 2 ponytails, 2 braids, and let it air dry overnight or like a whole day or 2, however long. And then, you know, really only applying. So like I wasn't gelling my hair down every day. Like I haven't even applied any more product since I washed my hair. So I did that intentionally so that I could ride my hair without having a bunch of products. So I'm gonna kind of separate this. Yeah, let's get started. So as always, I'm starting with the back of my hair. I am doing larger sections. Now, before I went in with the Lotta Body Honey Refine Me Curl Defining Mousse, I did mist it just a little bit, and I'm only using 1 pump per section. So I kind of did mist it with the water just so that it kind of reactivates the leave-in that I already had. Now, if you've been following me, I use the same method for my perm rods as I do my Flexi rods. I do twist down from the root. And when you're doing this on dry hair, you want to make sure you add a little bit of more product to the ends so that your hair kind of lays on top of itself and stays in place. If that does not work for you, I will show you on this one where you can kind of just bend the Flexi rod up to hold it in place. I don't like doing that a lot of times because it kind of ruins the end of my curl depending on how I bend it up, because it's not going to be perfect every time. So as you can see, I am adding a little bit of more mousse towards the end so it stays in place. But because this section is a little larger, it did start to unravel. So I am going to bend this particular rod so that it stays in place. I did only use about 20 rods, so this was pretty quick. I didn't use that many in the back. I wanted to use larger sections so that it did not take me all day. But please take your time, and like I mentioned, I only use 1 pump of mousse for each section to avoid kind of making it basically go back to being soaking wet. That's not what we want to do. So we want to keep that stretch, so I did only use 1 pump and a slight mist of the water, and that was it. So pretty quick styling because you're not using a bunch of products, you're only using mousse, and just take your time. Try to keep it neat, try to keep it in place. I couldn't really see what I was doing, so I did have a couple spacing there, but because we're looking for a more stretched curl, doesn't really matter in this case. So just take your time. I do like a twisting wrapping motion with my twist, or I'm sorry, with my Flexi rods, just as I do the perm rods. So I do this method so that I can get that wand curl look. I've always done it from the top down. A lot of people like it from the bottom up, but I feel like I have a lot more control over my curl, and it allows me to keep everything nice and neat so you have great curls. Okay, I'm running out of time. I'm always stretching it to the max. I don't know. Having a toddler, trying to get ready, we're gonna take this down. A little bit of oil on your hands. Always a rule of thumb. Team no frizz. Now this is where you can ruin this style, and we don't want to do that, right? We want to take our time. I know this is sped up, so I like to just unbend and kind of just go backwards, because a lot of times just snatching them out, this is done on dry hair, so you might cause some unnecessary frizz where you might not want it, you know. So it's a little bit different when you're dealing with dry hair. So you can have a frizzy mess, or you can have nice curls. I'm not gonna say frizz is completely avoidable, because I did end up with a little bit of frizz just because I was stretching it out to the max because I was going somewhere today. But on day one, I normally don't do a lot of separating or tugging or pulling, because I want it to last like a week. So this is kind of where you make the style your own. You want to separate less. But if you want more volume, for me, honestly, I like to take my hair out 2 days before I know I'm going somewhere. So then that way I can naturally get more volume as it goes. So I liked that I had volume initially. So this is before I even fluffed up my roots or anything. So the volume was there. Nice, soft, touchable curls. I really like that I had this kind of stretch without it being so shrunken, but I did go in with the comb just because I'm going to dinner, and you can obviously see immediately how just going with the comb into the roots and not really compromising the curl pattern, just giving it a little bit more volume. So like I said, you can make this your own. I did end up flipping to the other side, and you'll see the finished results of get rid of the end up going to dinner with my hair. So that's one thing I love about a rod set. You're not locked into those parts. Like, you can easily flip one side to the other, get rid of the parts altogether. It's totally up to you. So you'll see in the next clip here what I did. So this is the end of the night. As you can see, I flipped this side over just because I felt like it was giving too much of like a hard part. So I did flip it over so that I eliminated the part each way. So I did fluff it out a little more than I would for day one hair, but because I was going out, you know how that goes. So I love this. So like I said, this is really good for more volume on day one by doing it on air dried hair. I actually prefer this method just because it still feels like soft to the touch, like a wet set, because it's already air dried with whatever leave-in or products you've put in your hair after washing. So if I am going to do something where I want more volume, more stretch, if you don't really like shrinkage, which a lot of people don't like, this is a good alternative so that you won't have so much shrinkage on day one, and you have a lot more volume because your hair is already dried. So and then like you saw me using the spray bottle, you could just use the mousse, but for me, I like to use a little bit of mist to kind of like reactivate the products that were already on my hair, the leave-in conditioner that I used. So there's that. But yeah, like, I love it. It's volume, and then I like how, because I just cut off 2 inches, how it's like shoulder length. I'm loving that little curly bob. This is a really good way to just eliminate having a long wash day. If you know you're washing your hair, and you put your hair in a bun, you have somewhere to go later in the week without, you know, I avoided product buildup by not gelling my hair down every day. I'm in the house, I'm not going anywhere, I'm with my kid. Like, I don't have to look perfect every day. So for me, it was kind of like, okay, I'm washing my hair because it needs to be washed. I am putting it in 2 buns, letting it air dry for a day, wearing the buns for 2 days, and then turning it into a rod set. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what method do you prefer? Do you prefer just blowing your hair out and setting it, or do you like the air dry method better? As always, thanks for watching. Yeah, let me know what y'all want to see next. I do have some videos that I just never posted that I did reels for. I think I'm just gonna post those tutorials because I have the footage. I am gonna be doing tomorrow the fibroid. I'm gonna try and get that up. I did record some footage for the fibroid diet, so I want to touch back on that. I did a 2-part video, and I felt like those videos were so long I didn't want to already include that information, but a lot of people have requested to see what kind of diet I was on while dealing with fibroids, because a lot of people just have to deal with them. So I do want to touch base on that. So look out for that coming up. And yeah, I had a good time. Dinner was nice. I was out being myself, not being a mom. And if you're a mom, you know how good that is to have adult conversation with your friends. So I was cute tonight. I'm actually gonna post a picture so you guys, because you guys only always see my head. This is all y'all ever see. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, that's it for tonight. I'm going to unwind and chill for the evening. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all for the continued support, and until next video, have a good one.